It feels like I've been thrown straight back into 2006. The chainsaw on my rifle roars to life as I carve through an enemy, and right after Marcus Fenix taps his earpiece, "Control, this is Delta!" A line, of course, we've all heard countless of times over the years, but this time the reply doesn't just come from the game, it echoes from my DualSense controller. So, dressed up in an Astrobot team, the world of gaming has changed. We now live in an era where console exclusives are rapidly becoming extinct. Once upon a time, Gears of War was Microsoft's crown jewel, their big hitter. Today, it's just another title being open to a wider audience. And while that's great in theory, this revival of Gears comes years after its prime moment. Gears of War Reloaded is essentially a polished up version of the Ultimate Edition from 2015. If you remember, which even back then already felt a little dated, to be honest. Of course, when the original Gears launched in 2006, it was groundbreaking. It set new standards for visuals, it became the game to play on Xbox Live, and the Lancer with its iconic chainsaw bayonet, it burned itself into gaming history. And it was one of my favorite games ever, and it still is, but I gotta review this as a guy that played it for the very first time. That's an honest review, so if people are gonna jump in for the very first time with this game, and they're watching this review, I want them to have an honest review, because if I'm gonna review it as the little kid that was playing it for the very first time, I'm gonna give it an 11 out of 10. You know, but that was back then. Back in those days, you had AI teammates like Beard blocking your path just because he had to finish up his line of dialogue, or moments where choosing a route literally meant pressing a big glowing button. You know, dialogue often was boiled down to a lot of shit, fuck, while you push forward. By today's standards, it just feels a little clunky. The level design is also very of its time. Narrow corridors where Marcus and his muscle-bound squad banter or talk to control, followed by wide open arenas where Locust suddenly spawns in waves. You kill them all, the last one drop evenly, and instantly cue a heavy guitar riff to the signal the fight is over. It's raw, it's abrupt, and it's very 2006, and I personally love it. Multiplayer paints a similar picture. Short arena-style matches, character skins pulled straight from the campaign, no overarching progression systems or battle passes. In a way, it's refreshing. Just pick up the controller and jump in for some quick matches without committing to a season, you know. But at the same time, compared to modern online shooters, it feels repetitive. A little clumsy and visual bland here and there with its grey, muddy color palette. It's sometimes even hard to tell teammates from enemies. Well, at least for me, okay? Something modern games handle far more elegantly, and that's, of course, that's understandable. And then there is the control scheme. The X button, or A on Xbox, does basically everything. Sprint, take cover, vault, roll, probably scratch your ass if you mash it long enough. The downside is obvious, you'll constantly pull off the wrong action, like accidentally diving out of cover, straight into an enemy fire. It's part of the charm, but it's also a clear reminder of how far game design has come. And that's the core of it. Games today are smoother, more polished and more refined. Even the later Gears entries evolved beyond this rough around the edges style. Judging Gears of War Reloaded by modern standards, it's a testosterone-fueled nostalgia trip. Full of big grunting men with chainsaws, but also stiff, outdated and shallow compared to today's best games. That said, if you go in with the mindset that this really is a game from another era, Reloaded is easily the best way to revisit it. You get 4K resolution, HDR, 60 frames a second in single player and even 120 frames in multiplayer. Lighting and shadows have been improved too, so it does look sharper. Though don't expect a full remake, it's a remaster, true and true. Where it really stumbles, though, is the audio. On pay-per-view you've got Dolby Atmos and 3D spatial audio. In practice it sounds flat, muffled, and way too bass heavy indoors, if you know what I mean. The Lancer's chainsaw, it crackles, combined with the stomping of Marcus and crew, becomes monotonous fast. I try to be as honest as possible for people who are gonna play this for the very, very, very first time. As a piece of nostalgia, it's actually brilliant. As a modern game, it's clunky. But if you want a definitive way to revisit a classic, this is definitely it. So, guys, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of the game. Have you already played it? Are you going to play it? Do you agree with what I said here? Like, don't judge me. I'm just gonna be completely honest. I love this game. But for today's standards, yeah, it does feel a little old. So if people who don't know and see this game on Xbox Game Pass and like, wow, it's a completely new game, or they buy it on PlayStation, and then you gotta be prepared. It's a remaster of an older game, and that's definitely it at its core. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe even hit the notification bell so you can stay updated on my videos. Bye.